Hey guys, how's it going? So I wanted to do a review of a game that I recently finished on my PlayStation 4, and that game is Rise of the Tomb Raider. And this game actually was released on the Xbox One as a timed exclusive. Xbox One had it for a year before us PlayStation owners were able to get it. At the time that this came out, I was really bummed because I had actually recently played the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. The new game is coming right out. Want want. Nope. Didn't get to play that one at the time that right after playing this one, but I waited, and eventually it did come out, and eventually I did play it, and I have to say, I enjoyed this game so much. I was really surprised by it. Now, I think in order to kind of talk about this game and why I liked it so much, I need to talk about the genre as a whole, which is kind of like the third person shooting action adventure um, genre and how that's going right now. Games that are big in that series right now, obviously the first Tomb Raider that came out, this was on the 360 and the PS3. You can play those there. This is the definitive edition, which has updated graphics. It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. On the back of it, it says an obsessively detailed Laura, and that is no joke. When I put this in, I was so blown away. Loved it. This game I got over a year ago for $20. This game is super, super cheap. And for you people who are playing 360 or PS3, you can buy that version also. If you have the PS4, or it may be on Xbox One also, I'm not exactly sure. But if you can get the new gen version, it'll be updated and it's very beautiful. But either way, totally worth getting. It's an amazing game. But so I was super excited about that game. And with the new Tomb Raider game not coming out, I decided to jump into some other HD editions of the same genre in a different series. And this is the Uncharted series. This is super popular. These were also in the PS3 generation, and these were also updated for the PS4. I played all three of these games, really liked them. It was awesome. This whole genre is basically just absolute chaos. You do a whole bunch of running and sprinting, and it's a lot of movement on the fly, and you're throwing ropes, and you're swinging across one precipice to another. You're using, things scaling walls. You're jumping crazily. The action is absolutely not realistic whatsoever, but it is a ton of fun. You're climbing up mountains that just you should not be able to, climb. You're jumping from tiny little things onto other tiny little things. You're almost falling. It's just a total blast. It's really fun to play. Super intuitive when you get into it. The controls on all of these games are awesome. Not to mention the whole time you're running around with guns, shooting people. So the genre in and of itself, you just can't really go wrong with. It's a genre that goes back, back to like the PlayStation 1 and N64 days, and it's really just been perfected. Another game that I played recently, and those that you who follow me on my gaming Facebook, Jebber Gaming Jaws Facebook page, you know that I played Uncharted 4. This game definitely took things to another level, and I was super impressed with this. It has an amazing story. The gameplay was really good. I actually briefly went over this game in my PS4 collection video, so if you want to see a little bit more on that, I went a little more in detail, not super, but it's a really really good game. Um, so when I picked up Rise of the Tomb Raider, I was really not expecting anything new. I was more expecting more of the same, which I would have been totally happy and fine with, because it's such a good formula that just really works. What I got was that plus a whole lot more. I was really surprised. They really took everything that was good about the genre up to this point and took it to a whole other level. And I know that there will be a lot of varied opinions. I actually preferred this game to Uncharted 4. I didn't expect that. I thought that they may be equal. This game is so good. Like, it's hard for me not to gush about it. So it has all the amazing things that you would expect gameplay wise. What really sets it apart for me is that each section you get to is so open and there's so much to explore. Way more. It's a lot less linear than these other games have been. And that just really adds to it for me. Another thing that the Tomb Raider games have that I really prefer is a leveling system, and you gain experience by the things that you do. Another thing, it's just so open to the player as to how they want to progress. Because you can totally play Rise of the Tomb Raider in a linear fashion. You could probably get through the game pretty quick, 15, 20 hours. I think I spent close to 60 hours on this game, and I did not get everything. There were a few maps that I maxed out. This game actually has fast travel. That's not something that I expected to have. Like all the different bases that you go to, you can fast travel in between, which makes going back and collecting things really helpful. It's super fun to get new weapons that you find along the way. There are secret dungeons, which are some of the most fun things in the game. I love the dungeons. That was another thing that's really cool. A lot of the dungeons have puzzle pieces to them, which are really, really, really fun. Just trying to figure stuff out. That's actually my preferred part of the game over like the running and gunning, shooting people. So I would just totally recommend, if you have not played this game and if you have a chance, it's so worth it. And if you want a cheaper game that's also super good, definitely go for the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. There's nothing wrong with playing this one. I mean, this game is perfect also. Not perfect, but it's freaking good. And yeah, if you want to wait for this one to drop in price a little bit, this one is still at 60 at the time I make this video. I actually got it for 40. It was on sale just randomly at GameStop, and usually on a brand new game that I know I'm going to want to play, if I see them drop it down, I just grab it. And yeah, that's what I did here. I ended up owning the game for about a month before I was able to actually play it, but so glad to have picked it up. Yeah, so much fun. The story, I would say, is maybe not quite as good as Uncharted 4's, but what it lacks in story, it totally makes up for in the ability to explore and all of the optional dungeons and just all the fun things that you can collect and the leveling. One thing that I really like, it's very bow-centric, as you can see by the character in both of these. You can do a whole lot of the game with the bow. There are other options that come along, but I love using a bow. It kind of reminded me of playing The Last of Us when you get to take control of Ellie, and if you've played that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's really, really fun. Another really cool thing, there are animals throughout the world that you just will randomly maybe attack you. Just really, really cool to have that. There were optional side quests, like you would talk to NPCs, and they would have things for you to do to help the cause, which is just so cool. It's just taking such a linear kind of genre and just adding so much to it. It's something that I didn't even know I would like in that sort of a game. It's something that I didn't even know I was missing. It's something that I didn't expect when I put the game in. And I'll also really quickly go over, so this has a little slide thing, comes in this book here, and it's got this, whoops, that little thing fell. This is really cool. This has just a bunch of artwork from Laura and all of her different renditions of herself. This also comes with the DLC, which is really good. That's, it's got some of the old Lara Croft style stuff, which I have to say, I just love the new interpretation of Laura. I love who she is. I like her personality a lot. She's just a good person. She's not this hardcore badass, like, motherfucker. Basically, like, the old Lara Croft is kind of like Vin Diesel from the Triple X movie, just like, yeah. The new Laura has depth. She's dynamic. She's somebody that you can identify with. She's a good person. She has really good motivations. She's a lot different than Nathan Drake in the Uncharted games. Nathan is very, like, funny and joking, and these are a little bit more serious in tone, which is just a preference thing. It's what do you like more, and I just happen to prefer this. So, anyways, guys, I just wanted to give a short little shout out to this game and just let you guys know that it's totally worth playing if you're thinking about it, if you're looking for something, especially if you can find it cheap. Definitely get it. Alright, guys, hope you have a good one. Peace out.